Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Lynn, and welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of my Minecraft Survival Let's Play. And I got to start things off today by just letting you all know how much I appreciate the support over these last couple episodes. It's been pretty amazing, actually, and I'm really excited that you all seem happy with the idea of a season 2 here, and we got quite a few newcomers in the last couple episodes, so it's got me just really motivated to keep going here. So we're just going to jump right into things today, and the plan is to get quite a bit done over kind of in this direction here and just really get a good start on this trail of the path that I take when I head up to the mountains or up to the caves to mine. So we're just going to jump right in, get clearing out the area a little bit. Got to chop quite a few trees just to clear the path. We plan on eventually bringing it all the way up over this hill and up into the mountains, essentially. So we'll just get this tree out of the way for now to clear the view, but we won't be coming all the way up here to get the trail going up there. We're going to kind of stay focused down here, and it takes a whole bunch of terraforming, so I'll be able to get the trail nicely snug on the hillside there. But definitely well worth it to do all the work here. And once I kind of had a route planned out, I committed to a nice 3-wide trail and just got it all the way pathed out there, and it ends up being a pretty big job. And I know I mentioned before, but it's definitely a good idea to just use stone shovels. It goes through iron shovels like crazy, and it doesn't do it any faster, so you might as well just use stone. And I went with spruce for the trim here rather than stone, which is usually what I like to do, but I think for the nature trail, just sticking with wood is gonna make it seem a lot more natural. But we are just pretty much sticking with our oak and spruce kind of theme we got going on around here, and get this temporary bridge put in here that we'll come back and do something with at some point. And yeah, we'll go all the way up to where we get the stairs going up into the mountain here, and got that view nice and open, and it's going to be cool when we do move up here, but it's going to be a little while, so we're just going to kind of stay focused down here for today. And I'm really happy with how this came out here. Quite a bit of work, cut down to just a couple minutes, but I really had my head down getting this to this point. And like I said, we'll come back before too long, get this bridge all set up, and getting this waterfall is kind of one of the main features that I've had on my mind that kind of inspired me to do this whole project here, actually. And yeah, I did want to point out, between episodes, I did do a little off-camera grinding. I went and mined a little bit of iron and coal. I'm not using my diamond tools that I found in the last episode just because I like to have a full set. I also remodeled the kitchen a little bit, and I did a bunch of organizing, so I got all my chests organized. Got my drops down here, food up here, flowers and dyes will be in this one here. Down here we'll have leaves and plants and saplings. This will be leather and wool and feathers. Over here is kind of my building blocks. Got my rocks and dirt, different wood types, planks, slabs. And then this is just kind of the random building materials. And I like to have just a drop chest to drop things off in, so that's what that is there. And then in here's kind of my valuables chest and mining materials. And here we got armor and tools. This will fill up with enchanted books and enchanted tools and armor. So yeah, not the biggest base in the world, but plenty of storage throughout, and going to be a comfortable place to live for the foreseeable future. As I was building the trail up here, I kept passing this area, and it's just been calling my name for some kind of treehouse. So we're going to stick with that treehouse theme, and I'm going to do a little travel lodge here. Nice little place for the hikers to stop and gear up, and I'll have a couple maps in there. Today I'm just going to get the building up. And yeah, this is going to kind of be a repeated process around this whole area, I imagine. And how I do the tree houses is I just get a little platform built, extend it off a tree or two, and then just kind of build my building however I want on top of it. We're going pretty simple with this guy here. Sometimes you gotta adjust your platform to make it fit, but yeah, we're going with a nice little rectangle with just a little wing off it, your typical Minecraft house. And I went with some spruce for the trim just to stay with the theme of the area, and I think it actually looks pretty nice. We're actually going with kind of a spruce, birch, and oak in this whole area a lot, which I think is working out nice. Went ahead to use some stone bricks for the roof. Took this plank out just because I think it looks cooler just being all solid birch. And get a nice wide tall window in here and have a nice view of the bay. And then I went and used some strip birch kind of under the overhang here, kind of treating it like a shadow for lighting. But I will end up coming and changing that a little later. Yeah, get our windows in, and like I said, nice window there overlooking the bay with beautiful sunset. And I got going with my typical exterior decorations, and again, this is kind of stage one. I'll be coming back and making it look better. I did get another tree planted here to hold up the platform a little better, and yeah, you just make it a little extra tall so that it's not blocking the view as much, and that way you can kind of dictate where the trees go. And this one actually works out to be the staircase onto the platform. And this area looks a little weird at the moment. I'll come around and do some terraforming and make it look a little cooler, but I do kind of like it being almost a ground level for that corner of it and then extend into the trees. But yeah, got a good little start on this guy here. Nothing too fancy, but I like the little wing off it. Makes it a somewhat interesting shape. And we're not going to do any interior or anything today. But like I said, I'll make this nice little travel lodge with a couple good maps, and it'll just have all the gear you need for a good adventure and adventure loot. So yeah, feeling pretty good about where we're at. We'll come back and put another round or two of work into it to really bring it to life, but I got going on just clearing some scaffolding out over here by the base, and a creeper snuck up on me. My own fault. Once again, I was playing with my headphones off. I obviously don't learn my lesson. If I had them on, I might have been able to get away, but it's all right. Got my stuff, patched the area up a little bit, and then I was wanting to get going on the waterfall, but I'm going to need a bunch of cobblestone for that, and this is just an example of how doing a Minecraft world goes sometime. Is I wanted to find somewhere to dig into the wall that I would end up wanting to put some kind of building at some point, and it led to me extending the road all the way down here to the waterfront so that I can dig into the wall. And I was planning on having it be a marina, but I ended up changing that. And yeah, after a night of lighting the area up, I got digging into the wall here, and this way to gather my stone that I need for one build, I'm working towards another build. And yeah, I actually end up putting the work in and getting what's going to end up being a kind of a barn down here. I don't want to do a whole barn and windmill over here like I've already done twice at the spawn area, so this is where I'm going to have my animals. And yeah, I had a dock put in originally that I ended up changing a little bit just because I wanted to round it off and give it a little more interesting shape. And yeah, got a nice little start on things down here. And we'll come back and get some animals in here and put a little more work in, but my main objective was to get some stone so I could work on this waterfall, and that's what we're going to do. Like I said, this little corner here, I pictured a waterfall, and that's kind of what prompted this whole episode today, actually, is I just really want to make the cool little nature trail here. So at the top of the hill, I'm going to kind of use this little mound as a spring in a way, and yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do. I think I've said it before. Just making waterfalls and directing the water how you want it and just working with the physics of Minecraft water. And I really enjoy doing it. And this is one of the most satisfying things to me in the game. Get your little trail figured out and just one dump of the bucket and flows down the mountain exactly how I had planned. It does take a little practice to learn how to work with the water like that, but yeah, I think it looks really good over there. And while I was doing that, I decided that this little area here is kind of asking for a waterfall itself, so this ended up being a little bit of work here, getting it so that it can flow under the road here. I had to do a good amount of terraforming, and I'll definitely have to come back and make this look a little better. But yeah, got going on pathing out the waterfall for this area, and this was a lot more work than the first one, but it actually ended up being pretty cool. So you can see, just kind of got a map laid out for it and put the water in here. I do end up changing where the source of the water comes from a little later, but you can just see how I got it mapped out to have the water flow down here and split in this area, so I can do a cool little decoration there, and goes under the road here. And I didn't like how it left this area dry, so I ended up digging in a little bit and just rerouting the water to run this way how I want it. And now we don't have this big empty spot, especially after fill it in with some stone. And yeah, we're just kind of getting a rough outline for now, just getting things laid out. But then I decided I wanted to do one more waterfall, and this ended up being the most work of them all. I had to clear a bunch of trees to clear the way, and I wanted a little stream running behind the travel lodge there, so this ends up being quite a bit of work just because it's such a long distance. I do start from the top of the hill just like the other waterfalls and go all the way down here, and just trying my best to have the water flowing as much as I can. A few areas are too long of a distance where you end up having to just fill in with full source water blocks a little bit, but for the most part we got things running pretty cool, and I really like the way that this winds through the area. And you can see I had it split off to that second waterfall we built there. But yeah, you can see I just have it winding through down here, and it keeps on flowing, and then a couple areas you have to just fill it up with source blocks until it gets flowing again. Water only flows, I think it's 7 blocks, so as long as you can keep it running down 7 at a time, it'll work. But yeah, just fill a few areas in with some source blocks, and we made our way all the way down here, flowing into the bay there. And I think just having this little stream really looks cool, especially once we start getting it all decorated. And I'm gonna get a start on things today, but it's gonna be something that I come back to a couple times. But I really like the way it flows down the hill here. And we're starting by just using the cobblestone to cover up areas that look like the water should be spilling over. And just kind of, like I said, getting a nice sketch out. We'll come back and do some details multiple times, I'm sure. But for now, I needed to go on a little side quest here, and we actually take Silver for his first ride along the trail here. And the waterfalls are looking good here. And yeah, it's going to be nice just having this trail, making this traversal so much easier. But yeah, we headed up back to the caves. I needed to get a little more iron, and mainly needed to kill a bunch of skeletons at the skeleton spawner we found, just so I can get some bone meal, because I needed a bunch of that. And while I was there, I got a few of the different stone types and some coal. And then it was time to get going to work on the path again here. So I got going on the couple little bridges I needed to make. This is kind of the style I've been going with, I guess. Kind of can be a temporary bridge. If I end up leaving it, that's okay, but I do intend to maybe come back and make it cooler and a little more detailed. Definitely nothing too special. The angle does make it kind of hard for bridges, I will say. I do like trying to build at angles, but bridges are easiest straight on, that's for sure. But yeah, got those put in at least. Then I really bit off a lot and decided to go ahead and texture the path out here a little bit. So this was a big job. I actually ended up creating a bunch of mud just by dumping glass bottles on dirt, which I had never done before, but when you just need a little bit of mud to finish the job, it actually worked out nice. And I went around and got some lights planned out once again. using pumpkins, which I actually don't think look horrible, but once I get some other light sources, I will probably trade them out. But I think they actually work for what we got going here. Then I wanted to change out the stripped birch here for stripped oak, just because I thought it would look a little cooler, just having it be a little bit darker, trying to have it be a shadow effect. And I think it did end up looking quite a bit better. I think it just adds a little more interest and stands out a little more. Especially when you look at it from a distance here, it definitely looks cooler being the oak instead of the birch. But then I got put a little more work into our open-faced barn here, giving them a nice natural floor, and dug out 4 stables for the 4 main animals: cows, chickens, pigs, and sheep. And then put in a back wall here and dug a nice stable out to hold some horses. And put in some oak just to kind of stick with the theme there. And I did find a chicken handy nearby, which I saved from a fox here, so he'll happily follow me down and get in his spot. But then when I got searching for any other animals, I was just having zero luck. I couldn't find a cow, a sheep, a pig, or another chicken. Couldn't find anything anywhere. I did find this nether portal here, which had a couple decent pieces of armor in it, and I actually will use these gold boots and helmet for now. Like I said, I'm not trying to use any of my diamond tools or armor until I have a complete set, and at least the majority of them have some kind of enchantment on it. So that's why I'm sticking with my gold and iron armor for now. I did end up finding a sheep pretty far away. It was quite the trek to have him follow me back here, but we got him here. But I did decide I was gonna go ahead and give up on the search for animals. I'll just wait for them to spawn naturally in my area, and we'll gather them at that time. But the last thing I wanted to do was just get a start on detailing these waterfalls a little bit. And I don't do much here, but it actually makes a pretty big difference just going around and spreading some moss on both sides of the water best you can. I think it makes sense having it be a little greener right by the water, and it ends up looking really good. Uses quite a bit of bone meal. I didn't even get enough in my trip down there, but it isn't handy having that skeleton farm down there to know that I can go and get more and do some more of this. But yeah, planted a few azalea trees and went with some stone slabs just to place some rocks down and use some stairs to get some shape here and there, and just little by little it's all going to come together. And this is just the first little batch of details. I'll be coming back and doing more, but for just the first little round here, I think it ends up looking really good. I think the spreading the moss around is a real easy way to get it looking more man-made rather than just Minecraft generation here. And yeah, that pop of bright green amongst all the dark green of the spruce forest, I think it's looking really good. I'm super happy with it. Just once again, what I had in my vision is just coming to fruition. I like our little open barn down here, and we'll get the animals down here. I'll probably just do that off camera. I won't show you every time I find an animal. And our path is looking awesome here, especially since I went the extra mile and got some texture put in here. I really like our travel lodge here. I'm looking forward to getting the interior done. Just not quite ready to do that this episode. I wanted to get this out here at this point. And yeah, over time, we'll just try to get this walk just cooler and cooler and detailed out. And these waterfalls just have great potential. They're already looking really cool. But I imagine a few episodes down the line, they're going to be a whole nother story. And I'm looking forward to extending the trail up there. And yeah, I'm real happy with all the progress you made today. So with that, I think I'm just going to call it an episode. And as always, I want to thank you all for coming, and have a good day.